A letter to the second child I'll never give birth to. After having your brother, I knew I wanted to have you. Maybe when he was 3.5. I think about what you'd be like, how you'd feel and smell, what your name might be, how it'd feel to hold you in my arms and to see you and your brother growing together. As with your brother, being a mother to you would push me to my edges, but I'd once again find reserves of patience, humility and strength I couldn't have imagined. Becoming a mother has shown me to myself in surprising and spectacularly difficult ways. I was terrified of giving birth, but I loved being pregnant and convinced myself I'd be okay. I had a high pain tolerance. Fast forward, and an excruciating and traumatic birth that was miles from my Earth Mother fantasy changed me in a fundamental way. To experience such agonizing depths and then, in the same 24 hours, the heights of intense, ostensibly divine love was just obliterating. But it also left me feeling I wanted to give birth again from a position of greater awareness and a seasoned vagina, like a longing for some kind of reparation. As hard as it was, birthing your older brother taught me how to let myself be raw and intense, and I want to be raw and intense for you, to bring you forth from this new, wiser place with all my newfound maternal power, self-worth and advocacy. Early on, your would-be dad said he didn't think we could handle having you. I felt sure he'd change his mind, but now your older brother is 5.5 and you're still not here. Becoming a family of 3 was like a bomb hitting the relationship, and we're eternally adjusting. We struggle, financially, psychologically and existentially, to give him what we hadn't had much of ourselves, particularly emotionally. We try too hard, fucking your brother up in our own special way, just like everybody else. You don't know what you're missing. In recent months, I've come to understand the true gravity of climate change. When Extinction Rebellion first emerged, Trump had become president. It was just days after your brother was born. I used my oxytocin fuzz to block it all out, simply to cope, as I drew upon mad levels of fossilized resilience and nurture. It's got a new name now, the climate crisis, or climate emergency, or when I'm angry with your dad at 11:30 at night because he can't face the fear of it with me. We're all fucked. I feel like an idiot for not knowing, not really in my soul knowing, before starting a family. And now I feel guilty of some heinous crime, a fatal mistake. The information about the true reality of the situation wasn't honestly disseminated, not properly. But still, as a mother, part of me screams to myself, I should have known. I could have known. Sick with the knowledge that the fact I didn't know is because I was lost in the shameful mindset that got us here. I project back into this woulda, coulda, shoulda state, imagining I might have freed myself from the extra dread and agony of having brought a child into this, a child I can't really protect. But I can protect you, my unborn second child, and I will. The climate situation has shown me that I hadn't let the idea of you go, not at all. I still thought that somehow, someday, I'd give birth to you. 2 years of couples therapy, hours of work on myself, and although quieter on the surface, my want of you is still instinctual, fierce, and fighting with all the dreadful, dreadful knowing. Now I'm peeling off each layer and letting it fall to the increasingly infertile ground. Amidst my regret and sadness for the earth, the animals, the children, and all of us, I'm relieved that I can at least save you from this impending tragedy. Sorrow does no justice for how I feel for your brother, for the sorry state of this burning world, and I can't really say I didn't know, because it's been burning for a long time. I've cried tears of bitter pain and resentment for you. I've hated myself, your dad, my life, and the world, because I'll never hold you, never feel you move inside my aching womb, for the love I'll never give you in particular. These states overwhelm me and can leave me gladly, willfully dissociated for hours, days on end. I cry for the kisses, pokes, and too hard squeezes your older brother would give you. I cry for the mad-making waste of blood, the precious life-giving womb lining that leaves my body each month, with the sorrow I can only bury, because it feels too big for the world. Remnants of 1,000 possible, impossible, immaculate babies within. I become ridiculous, lying awake at night, imagining sterilization or hysterectomy, as though by getting rid of the means I might get rid of the feelings. At times I feel sure I'd give anything to go back to a place where my decision to have a child hadn't put your brother in all this unknowable, abstract and unthinkable danger. And I wasn't nursing this profound terror that I can hardly bear. Mothers shouldn't say these things, should they? What happens if women fall into this sort of despair? It seems to me that contrary to the narrative we've all been living, women and the care they provide is the true centre that must hold. But what I'm coming to understand is that we all need mothering and spaces to voice our darkest fears, to grieve and to be held. Only then might we be ready to rebuild and to mother in a dying world as things increasingly fall apart. So, my unimaginable darling, I'm writing this letter to say goodbye to the idea of you, because I so wish it could have been different. Never to be yours, Mum.